doesn't really stay true to you, because it wasn't ultimately who I was. That cover of that album, that first record, that was a hair campaign photo shoot actually that Clive saw and loved that photo, and I was like, so it's, you live and you learn. I was so young, and I thought I wasn't as young then, and I'll probably, like, 2 years from now, think like, oh, I was so young then. Just in everything too.
Right. Now, like you said, you did get to go and do some acting. You were in some movies. Is that on hold right now, or do you plan to continue to do more acting?
Yeah, I plan to do more acting, and obviously this is quite a process of promoting a record and things like that. So I don't have anything immediately lined up, but there's always projects that I'm going in for and looking at, and I want that to be something that really, those parts want to suit me perfectly. I mean, House Bunny was such a example of just being able to be a part of such a fun movie, and that people really enjoyed. And I got to do this movie called You May Not Kiss the Bride, which was my first lead in a movie last spring, and they're in editing process now. So I'm just loving taking my time in that area of the career.
Do you think these days it's easier to kind of be a, multi-platform performer, be an actor, be a singer?
Actually, I think it's harder.
Really?
I feel like, there's so much celebrity now, and there's so many idols, and there's so many just outlets to find media from, and it's like you have to go do so many like online interviews and websites. I mean, it's, how do you keep up with it? It's like an insatiable appetite, the need for celebrity and stuff, but it's almost like, it's like white noise to me, all these different celebrities who are known for really nothing. And I'd rather just make nice music that a group of people enjoy and live a quiet life than have to be in that whole crazy celebrity world. It's fun to do a red carpet here and there, but I don't think I answered your question. I went off on a tangent, but
the tangent's good though. Well, I know your mom sings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you grow up knowing you wanted to be in the show business and perform?
Yeah. When I was a little kid, that's all I wanted to do was sing. And that's all I did do. I sang around the house, sang in the shower. I didn't sing. I think there was a little bit of a misconception on Idol that I was this, established singer, and I knew exactly what kind of record I was going to make, because, I grew up in the entertainment business, and my mom was a voice teacher. I had singers in the house all the time, and really, so there was just music around all the time, but I wasn't I wasn't cutting demos, I wasn't in the recording studios, I wasn't in bands, the different nightclubs in LA. I was just this girl who sang at home and sang for friends, and sang for little events, church things or whatever, and then went to school for theater, dropped out because I wanted to become an actress. Well, I mean, I'd been studying theater, so I wasn't like, I don't want to be an actress, but so I dropped out, got an agent at 19, and but pop music has changed. Like the Mariahs and the Whitneys back in the day, that music today would be like old school. That'd be like, adult contemporary, like, oh, schmaltzy, kind of boring to kids nowadays, and kids want to hear like the fun. I get it, it's cute, but that's not what I grew up with. My idea of like pop music was those big ballads, and how will I know if he really loves me, that kind of music. Where people were really singing. Whereas now I don't knock now, and that there's a lot of not so glamorous things about the industry. I mean, a lot of times I think there's a lot of not so glamorous things about the industry, but you can't really complain about it or tell people that from the outside perspective, because you just probably really wouldn't understand it. It would just sound like, oh, how could they complain? They all make so much money. And I think the MTVs of the world, my generation, with when they had the amount of money that that the whole idea of celebrity is a little skewed.
It's
and that there are some hard working days,
right, long
But
days.
it's hard to explain that if you're not in it. Do you know what I mean?
Right. I could see that. I could see people thinking, oh, but look at this. You get to go here, go there, get makeup,
Right. People will be like, if I complain, like, oh, hair and makeup is, so exhausting. What? How is that exhausting? But you just can't, unless, you're on a set for a movie and you're stressed about the scene and like the makeup person's like turning your face and you just want to just be left alone for a second. So someone's always picking on you. But to someone from the outside, I could see how that sounds so like, oh, well, gosh, she sounds so annoying, or you know what I mean. It's hard to relate if you're not in it.
Right. Okay, I'm sure people have asked you this, but I haven't heard your answer. So how do you think Ellen will do as a judge?
I think she's gonna be fantastic. When it came out a couple months ago, I was like excited to actually start watching the show. Not that I haven't watched it in a while, but I haven't tuned in rigorously for a while, so I am definitely going to tune in to see how she does. I think she's going to be great. I think she's funny. I'm a huge fan of hers, and I think Idol will need that little boost from her. It's good.
Now, if you weren't performing, if it actually weren't happening, which I can't even imagine because you're just so talented, what would you be doing?
Well, I have a couple dreams outside for lunch and dinner, but I would love to own a breakfast place. I've also, ever since I was, in high school, I was obsessed with facialists. I wanted to be an esthetician. I always thought well, if I decide not to do acting or singing, I'll be an esthetician and I'll pop people's zits for them. I'm obsessed with skin. I know it's really weird.
What's your secret? Because you do have great skin.
Oh, thanks. Well, I mean, I'm lucky. I do have good genes, and we didn't have a lot of breakouts in my family. So, and my mother was always very, she always stressed wearing sunscreen all the time. So that is a perk, and I think you should wear sunscreen, everyone who's watching, because it'll help prevent those dark lines growing on your face. Deep lines, I should say.
Skincare, breakfast place.
Skincare. I wanted to own like a little spa, help people with their acne and things like that. Always about helping people, feel better about themselves. I always love doing hair and makeup. I'm a typical girl. I'm into the vanity of it all, but for me, it's just fun stuff.
Okay.
Nothing too serious.
And lastly, what is your favorite song on the album?
My favorite song on the album, people ask this all the time. I should have like a really great answer, but that people do to themselves, that I know I've done to myself, of having someone in your life who loves you so much and wishing you could see yourself the way that person sees you, and saying how long is it going to take for me to just finally surrender and just say, okay, love me for me. And with that, just I think on a personal level, career level, just taking everything in stride.
Okay. Thank you. Congrats
Thanks.
Again. Okay. Thanks. We're done.
Bye.
Bye. Mind if we take a photo of you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Good job.
Thank you.
Very good job.
Thank you. So is that whole thing live? Oh, cool.
Yeah. Very good.
test shot.